I work with a team of people across 35 countries, right? That's my team, 65 people. I have plenty of people I can bounce ideas off of. Your biggest risk is getting absorbed into it and being really close and not getting the feedback throughout the process. But maybe, your risk could be getting it at the end.
Yeah.
And then you just go, oh no, I've got to redo that big chunk of it. And so do float the concepts with people, do share the ideas, with your teachers and get that perspective. Even if you don't like the feedback, feedback is one of these things where you read about it and people go, feedback is a gift, feedback is wonderful. Well, yeah, it is, and it can also be very painful and frustrating. Um, and the way I sort of talk to my team about it is you don't have to like feedback, right? Do get
Mm.
feedback from people. You don't have to like it. You don't even have to accept it as being right. But what you do have to do, if you're going to progress and be better, is appreciate that's somebody's opinion and perspective of you as a person or your work. And so what you need to do is look at it and go, okay, they're looking at it from a different angle to me. Have they given me the feedback that I want? And if they haven't given me the feedback I want, how do I change their perspective? I don't have to change me. I don't have to dramatically change my work, but I have to change something if I want to get a different result from the people who I'm trying to deliver my message to. And it makes it a lot easier to get the feedback. You ask lots of people, and then you just go, right, it's not personal. Just gonna sift through the thoughts and ideas, and it helps.
Yeah, I think you've made very good points there. You know, open yourself up for some discussion as well.
Mm.
Um, at the start or end or even the beginning of your feedback, and
Yeah,
just see what people's perspectives are, and even if you could try and change them if you don't agree with them, or maybe you could get them to have a different outlook or show them into your outlook as well. But I've got feedback before, and some of it I have agreed with, and a lot of it I haven't agreed with, and I have made changes to my work because of feedback, and changes that were positive and good. Um, and then at the same time, sometimes you were on your own as well, and you just had to do what you thought was right.
yeah,
Um, which, I mean, I suppose I've never done anything wrong as such, um, but I could always have done stuff better, you know.
good.
But then whenever you make it public and stuff, you do get a lot of feedback. But that thing, you know, you said you're you're getting it at the end of your projects and stuff. But you know, by talking to people and just saying, "What do you think of this?" and opening yourself up to just a good discussion, even if it's 2 or 3 minutes, um, an opinion, you can reflect on that then and be like, yeah, maybe he's right, or maybe I can change his outlook on this, or
Yeah,
yeah, because I mean, I suppose it's about achieving the most out of what you do, and making your resources and the people that are available to you just expand, as far as you can, you know.
exactly. Because I mean, I may have this slightly wrong, but in my line of work, if I issue a document and it goes out to the world and nobody really comments on it, they just sort of accept it. Um, that's a win, right? That means great. I can get on to the next job. Because if they come back with positive comments, great, brilliant. If they come back with negative, that's more work. For your line of work, it would strike me that if nobody came back to you, that's not good because you don't know whether you're provoking discussion, whether they like it, whether they dislike it. Because sometimes, especially with your documentaries, people aren't always going to agree with your message or what you're trying to convey or how you're going to convey it, and
Yeah.
you may provoke a negative response. So you've you know you've actually got to be even more resilient than me because you are more likely, especially with your line of work, to get negative criticism as well as positive criticism. And both
Yeah.
of it's good. You just have to be able to sort of divert it and look to see if there's something useful in there, to actually then move on and progress.
It's good to also hear your perspective as well, and to what's different between my line of work and your line of work, because yeah, with mine you would get a lot of people taking stuff the wrong way, you know, especially when you're kind of out there working on stuff and making projects that are matters of yeah, they're matters of public interest, but people also can, you know, look at it in different ways than what you're looking at it with, and then they can start commenting, or they can start messaging you saying, "Hey, I didn't like this," or you know, some people can even be quite hateful.
Yeah,
You know, so I don't really throw a lot of opinions or anything into my work. I always kind of just state the facts, and let people come up with their own opinions. I think that's also important as well. But I don't, to be honest, like I've got people before, like really controversial comments and stuff. But for the most part, it's always been mostly positive, you know.
but
Because I've always covered a lot of kind of positive work and positive issues and stuff, um, and I'm very happy with that as well.
collaboration was something we spoke to right at the start of this discussion. How many collaborations have you done to date, and how easy do you find it to change your idea to accept somebody else's?
I have actually participated in quite a lot. Um,
Good.
Sometimes I've worked alone, but then I've went and worked with other people in different stages of the project. Like maybe I filmed it, but someone else helped me edit it, or something like that. You know, and I've always kind of went and got feedback from my work. But a lot of my work has also been solo ideas. Um, but I couldn't tell you an exact number. But especially whenever I go and do work, but it's for like someone else, for maybe a charity, for
Yep.
uh, something like that. I would always get involved in a lot of uh, work that involved other people. I've worked with people, at, you know, to make the project. I've worked with people in the charity to shape the way the video looked. I've looked through documents and stuff to see how they want their project reflected in the videos and stuff like that.
Yep.
Uh, and I would have always done stuff differently to other people. And sometimes that you just kind of don't really have an option. And
Yep.
sometimes, Mike, I would say most of the time, I did. Sometimes I had to follow a brief. Sometimes I've had to follow a script.
Yep.
Uh, Not necessarily my idea, not necessarily my script, my feelings. But then whenever I did the work, I'm like, you know what? Maybe this actually kind of turned out a bit better. I would have never have known what the work was going to look like if I did it my way. But the fact I did it someone else's way, and it turned out in a way which I liked, has influenced a lot of work that I've done
That's really positive.
again and again. But then at the same time, I've worked with people who I just didn't get along with.
And that will happen, right? And in your line
Of
of
course,
work,
yeah.
in your line of work, collaboration is I think key for really helping with idea generation and scalability. It can really, if you're going to do something big, doing it purely on your own is extremely hard. So you're going to get to a point where you're going to be working with a group of people, whether you're leading them or whether you're part of that team. Do you know what? It doesn't really make too big a difference when you're a leader. You can be a dictator, right? You can be a dictator, and the dictator basically says, "This is what we're going to do and how we're going to do it." And some people say, "Oh, I'm not a dictator. No, no, no. I work in a hierarchical structure and I'm a director." You go, right. So basically, what you mean is I'm the top of the pyramid and everyone's going to do what I say. That's a dictator, right? That's how that works. it can work. Um, but what it ends up doing with a team of people that are underneath you or working with you, if it's, is you can end up stifling their creativity, stifling their willingness to talk and offer a contradictory opinion and ideas. And you'll never get the best out of people, and you never keep a team if you do that, if you act like that. With being an architect of ideas or an architect of innovation, basic, basically, you're the center of the Venn diagram, right? Your team are here, another team is here, perhaps. You help bring ideas together, but they own it and they help drive it forward with your input. But your input isn't as a dictator, it's as an idea generator. They are allowed the creative freedom to finesse those ideas or to even challenge and change those ideas.
Yeah.
They're empowered to do it. If you do that and you've got the right people you're working with who will listen to an idea rather than say, no, my idea is anyway, then you end up getting a collaboration. You end up getting people bouncing ideas, but also feeling like you trust me as a leader because you've allowed me to run with this project. And if you get it right, you've stepped back, you've had the oversight, you've actually been involved all the way through the process because they're talking to you, right? And this is what I was talking to you about, making sure you get feedback and input. And if you get that, you have the opportunity as a leader to make suggestions and give ideas. And if you've got the right people working with you, people listen to ideas, right? And they take some of it, they adapt it, and that helps create those big scalable projects that you want. And it also means that you're not having to do absolutely everything and be a dictator, which is exhausting, stifles everybody, and it means that you have no work-life balance either.
Yeah. I also find a lot of feedback you get on different projects can be used on the next one, and the next one, and the next one. Because I've done that countless times, again and again, and it's always improved my work every single time.
Yeah.